Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, here we go. This is our last one in the Horizon 10 series. This is their Sweet Horizon, and it's in a white tin, and it's kind of sticky on the bottom of the can, so I don't know whether something is leaked in the fridge or this thing is leaking in the bottom of the can. We're getting ready to find out. I hope it hasn't leaked in through the bottom of the tin here, but we're getting ready to find out. This is wrapped in red tissue paper, where yesterday was orange and the day before was white. Doesn't look like it's leaking here, so evidently it's got sticky from something else in the fridge. And like I told you the other day, this protects the beer quite a bit, but it adds a lot of cost for them to print that up on this can here. Alright guys, this is, and before I get going on this, Rate Beer doesn't even have this beer listed. Nogne's site doesn't have this beer listed on Rate Beer. As far as all the beers that Nogne does, it's not even listed. So the only thing we can go by is what Rate Beer has, because Beer Advocate doesn't have anything listed for it. Rate Beer is the only thing, and they're saying here, commercial description: Sweet Horizon is dessert for the ones with a sweet tooth, black and velvety, with hints of sweet chocolate, fruit, coffee, and licorice. But remember, this is dessert, so do not try to have dessert with it. Usually they'll say pair it well with chocolate and all that, but anyway. This is right here, was brewed on March 6th of 2008. And it says best before March 6, 2015. So we're within that. We've made that date that they've got on here. So Sweet Horizon. Sweet Horizon is, and in the description on the bottle is exactly what it has here on the commercial description. This is a 14% ABV beer. I thought it was sticky on the bottom of the bottle, but it's not. Feels like it is though. There's definitely something sticky on the bottom of this can. Every time I set it down, it sticks to whatever I'm set it on. But anyway, there's that beer. That's what it looks like. I don't know what's on that can, but it is really sticky, like maple syrup or something. Alright, food pairings. And this is a Russian Imperial Stout. And food pairings is like it was yesterday. It's considered a chocolate beer, dessert beer, or a digestive. Glassware and pint, Becker, the non-snifter. I have the double glass again for this one today, and this says can be sold for a long, long time. And I would agree. At 14%, it can be sold for quite a while. And like I said, this was done in 2008. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This beer is 6 years old. Like I said, I've had them in the fridge for quite a while. Didn't think I had them in there quite that long, so it may have been a year or two old before I even picked it up. But I bought all three of them either at the same time or pretty close to the same time, the ones that was in this tin. And I had reviewed some of their beers before I bought these tins, and was pretty pleased with what I had got. But most of the beers are pretty big. I don't think they make any low ABV beers. I may be wrong, but most of their stuff is between 6 and 17%. So they make some strong stuff of it. I guess they like heavy beers over there since it's cold all the time, or most of the time, over in Norway. I really don't think there's anything else we need to talk about. I've told you everything that I've got here, so let's pop the cap on this bad boy. If I can get this sticky can out of the way. And this is a little small bottle, 8.5 ounces. A little bit of hiss. I can get the alcohol as soon as I pop the top on these bad boys. And you see what you get in the glass from this little tiny bottle. And this beer is not cheap. It is a fairly pricey beer. And the other two were great beers. I don't know if I'd say great. They were good beers. Not great beers to me because of the booziness in them beers. And got a feeling this is going to be right in line with them. So not sure if I'd buy another Nogne beer in a tin, especially if it's telling me it's between 12 and 17%, because I know what that's going to be like. Even after selling it for 5 or 6 years, it's still going to be kind of boozy. And to me, it's just not worth the price you got to pay for those kind of beers, unless you're just in a hurry to get freaking drunk. So over to the light, it is pitch black. There is no light coming through there. And as you've seen down the center, we got no head. Basically like you're pouring liquor or something like that. It's not producing any head, so it's definitely not overcarbonated. So let's get a nose on it. There is a slight hint of the booze in there, but it's not as strong as what yesterday's and the day before was. And this is at 14%. Yesterday's was 15.5. And the one before that was 17, so the ABV is coming down. Maybe I should have done this in reverse order, but it is what it is. I usually like to drink the lighter ale, which the Red Horizon was. And then the yesterday's was a Russian Imperial Stout, and this is a Russian Imperial Stout. Maybe I should have done this one before, but this is called Sweet Horizon, and the other one was Dark Horizon, so I figured this would be a little more sweeter than the other one. And I like to have the sweeter beers at the end of the evening, or I don't know what I'm trying to say there. The sweeter beers, like your barley wines and most of your Russian Imperial Stouts, is usually the last beer of the evening, for me anyway. And I figured the Dark Horizon would be not quite as sweet as the Sweet Horizon, so that's my reasoning for that. So. The nose on this, of course, I'm getting some alcohol, but I'm getting roasted malt, coffee, chocolate, licorice, maybe some brown sugar. But alcohol is the predominant thing on this. So, very similar to yesterday's aroma, just not quite as boozy. And it's not that much difference, 14 compared to 15.5, so just a little bit less boozy. So, let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. Very, very similar in yesterday's taste. Not quite as boozy. A little sweeter. It does not have the IBUs listed on this. Where we had 100, I think, yesterday. And I don't think it's listed on the bottle here. No, I don't see it at all. It just says 14%. And not quite as much sediment in the bottom, but there is some. All I can say is the guys in Norway like some heavy beers. That's all I can say. They like to brew these monster beers. If this was a 750 or a 22-ounce bomber, you drink all that, boy, you're going to have your buzz on. That's all I can say. A little more drinkable to me. A little easier to drink than the other two. The booziness is there, but it's not quite as strong as the other two was. Out of the three so far, on the initial tasting, I like this one the best. Not too bad. Anybody can brew a monster beer. All you got to do is throw a lot of malt in there, and the alcohol goes way up. But it's got to be balanced. I mean, you just want, when I first brewed my first barley wine 5 or 6 years ago, when I first got done with it, I tried it, it was just over its 10.5%, and it was just so boozy to me. Of course, my palate has changed since then, and of course the beer has aged. I still have some downstairs in the fridge and in the big Grolsch bottles, and to me it has matured just like my palate has. So the beer has gotten better, and my palate has gotten to where it can stand those heavier beers more easily. So I think the beer has matured and gotten better, and I think my palate has matured and is able to take some of these heavier beers. But once you get above the 12 to 14%, the booziness is there. I mean, if you're trying to open up your first beer of the day and it's a 17%er, and you don't think it's boozy, you're a serious alcoholic as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, back to this beer. This is a little more palatable to me than the other two have been. But the alcohol is less. Definitely a nice sweet malt, brown sugar or candied sugar, coffee, licorice, maybe some dark fruit, plums, dates, raisins, or figs. To me, personally, my opinion, this one is the best of the three so far. So, but there is some booziness still there at 14%. So let's let it warm up a hair before I drink it all here in front of you and let her taste it 2 or 3 times, and I'll come back and do the final chug. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. To me, this is the best of the three. Not quite as boozy as the other two were. Less alcohol. You can taste more of the beer, more of the roasted malt, more of the chocolate, more of the dark fruit, plums, dates, raisins, figs. Very sweet though. Almost like a barley wine as opposed to a stout. But pleasant. I enjoyed this one the best of the three. And like I told you before, Beer Advocate doesn't even have this beer on their site. And when I went to the Nogne site of all the beers that they did on Rate Beer, it's not even listed there either. I mean, on Beer Advocate, it's not even listed there either. Rate Beer is the only one that has this. And it is a retired beer. They did this in 2008. So this beer is 6 years old. Cellared well as far as I'm concerned. The booziness is still there. Not quite as intense as the other two at 14% as opposed to 15.5% and 17%. More down in my range and more down into where my palate can take it. Those other ones, once you get above 14%, I mean, they're just so over the top boozy to me. But there are people that like that kind of stuff. I am not in that crowd. I like the beers between, I don't know, when you get into a Russian Imperial Stout, between 9 and 12%. So, final chug. Very nice, very decent, very well made beer. I enjoyed this one the best of all three. But I still don't think it's an outstanding 10 beer. I gave yesterday's beer an 8, which is in the A- grade. I would probably give this one a 9 out of 10 because I like it just a little bit more than the other two that I did. So 9 out of 10 is what I'm giving it. So over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says 97 overall. If I was putting a numeric rating on this, it would be between 97 and 99. So we're in line there, but 66 in the style. Went down the wrong pipe. But I still think it's kind of over the top boozy to me. I don't like the stouts having that much booziness to them, especially an Imperial Stout. Just my opinion now, guys. There are guys out there that love these big ABV beers, these monster beers. But I like to taste some of the beer instead of just the alcohol. So that's where I'm going with this. 9 out of 10 for me on this one. Probably, even being a 9 out of 10, it probably wouldn't be something that I would want to seek out again. But I'm glad I tried it. Just to say that I've tried it, I have had it. It was decent. The best of the three as far as I'm concerned, guys. So, with that being said, if you've had this one, this is their Sweet Horizon. This is a retired beer. It was done in 2008. So, if you've had it, give me some comments back on this one, whether you like it, didn't like it. At this stage, we still have 2 blue openers, dark blue openers. They may be gone by the time that you see this beer review. So, shoot me an email at gtpuckett@comcast.net if you're interested in one of these openers. Still got plenty of shirts. The largers are getting low. I might not even have any more largers without going and looking in the box. So if you need a shirt too, shoot me an email at gtpuckett and I'll double check and make sure I've got an opener left and a shirt your size. So that being said, guys, hit the like button, rate, comment, subscribe, and see you tomorrow. We'll see what's in the fridge. See you then.